y'all, I just want to talk real quick about this new T.I.P. album, or T.I. for y'all who maybe just don't know anything about him. But yeah, the King is back. Dime Trap. I think it's a real good album. It is an album, okay? It's not 7 songs, it's like 20 songs or something, 19, 15, I don't know, something like that. But it's a good album, man. The first track or two, something just didn't gel with me on the way it sounded. Like, he's saying a lot is great, but like the rest of the tracks were really good. Like, as far as beats and everything, whenever I think of T.I., he's always got awesome beats, you know, got that grimy, dirty South, you know, trap music sound, which, you know, should be pretty much assumed. But the first track or two was very overproduced, and the vocals sounded like different in how they're mixed and all. But, you know, overall, I mean, he still comes in just slaying the flow. But I think it was probably about track 4 before I really started like moving around and okay while I was listening to it. Not to mention, you got my personal favorite, Dave Chappelle, popping in and out of that album a couple times, just little ad-libs and whatever. And I knew it was him. I knew it was Dave, and I was like, that's cool. But then he comes in and says, you know, Dave Chappelle or whatever. So you also got Jeezy and Meek Mill and, you know, Young Thug or whatever. There's a lot of good additions to the album, but, you know, T.I.P., just a buttery flow. I mean, there's nobody really that raps like him. You know, he raps the way he talks, it seems like. You know, and maybe everybody does that, but the way he talks is different, you know. And so I think that, you know, when he says he's the king and all that, I don't really feel like it's a debate, you know. And I don't mean that like he's the greatest, but what I'm saying is like there's nobody like him, in my opinion, at that level and that consistency. So I'd say, hey, you want to call yourself a king, be the king, whatever. Somebody else wants to be the GOAT, somebody else wants to be the God or whatever. That's fine with me, man. I think, you know, if it was somebody else, I'd probably laugh at him or throw him some shade, but you can't really do that with T.I. because, I mean, unless his backstory is completely engineered or fabricated, I mean, he's pretty much the real deal, you know. I mean, you could look at his history for, you know, as far as the industry drama and all that. I mean, he's really never been, you know, one of these Hollywood types or whatever. I mean, he's in movies. He's been pretty good in movies or whatever. But overall, he's a true street rapper. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the man at all, but I bet if he had to go back to the street tomorrow, he'd be fine with that. I mean, it might be a little bit of an ego blow, but I mean, he'd probably just do it, you know? We know he'd try to do it at the beginning, you know, when he was having the industry problems. But anyway, I'm just saying, anytime you talk about T.I., I'm going to say, okay, let me hear it, for sure. Now, I think last time I talked about T.I., which wasn't that long ago, really, I was jonesing for some T.I., and I had to go back and listen to Paper Trail on my own, you know, years after the fact. I mean, he dropped that years ago, but I was saying on that, he had that song, something about, it ain't about the money. I didn't like that song. Something about it I just didn't care for or whatever. But other than that, you know, I pretty much always am ready for some T.I. So I was excited when I saw he had this new album out. I jumped on it, and I'm happy about it. Now, you got Weezy last week. You got T.I. I don't know who likes to compare apples to oranges, because I think it's a little bit different, even though they're so close in proximity. But I think that clearly there was more hype over the Carter 5 because, I haven't even heard anybody mention the T.I. album. I'm sure somebody's talking about it, but no one mentioned it to me. So, I think that it might be a little underrated or overlooked for a minute, but if you like T.I., then you're going to get behind it, and I think, you're going to push it. Now, like I said, he had Yeezy on there. I ain't heard anything. I'm sorry. He had Jeezy on there, and I ain't heard anything from Jeezy in a while, which really isn't upsetting me or anything. I kind of take or leave Yeezy on certain days, whatever, but I just said it again. Jeezy. I guess we're going to have to call him Ye, because that's what he's trying to do now. I guess we call him Ye, so not to confuse him with Dreezy or Yeezy or Breezy or whatever. But Yeezy, God bless it. Who the hell am I? Young Jeezy. That is who the hell I'm referring to. Snowman. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We ain't heard from him in a minute, so I don't know where he's at. Okay? But he was on this album, and that's kind of how I like him. I like him just popping in and out. The albums are okay, and I really don't like, getting too deep on other people's stuff when I'm talking about other artists. But Young Jeezy is palatable for me. I like it. I can deal with it, but I don't rush out to look for it like some people, Not hating, just saying, you show me T.I., I'm going to grab it. You show me Young Jeezy, I'm going to, just keep it on the back burner until I get bored one day. But anyhow, not trying to hate, just saying, thank goodness we got some T.I., and you guys go check it out.